In today's video we're going to create a little hedgehog. For this project I'll be using a pastel orange pigment and a brown glitter. To start with, I'm just mixing a bit of the UV resin into the pigment and glitter separately, so I have both my colours ready to go when I start. I'm going to leave the mould on the backing card just so that you can see it better on the camera because it's quite translucent. It's hard to tell. So I'm just going to fill it up to the line, and as long as you don't overfill this section it will naturally stop. As we're going to be adding to this design and building it up, you don't need to fully cure it all in one go, just enough to stop it moving. I'm now using a little plastic toothpick style tool to fill in these more precise details. Just makes it a lot easier to do. And obviously you can build up layers if you're worried about it over filling the sections. Got my little feet in. So you can see I've got the little feet and the face filled in there. I'm just doing another layer now. Now that your mould is completely full, you want to cure it for the full duration of 2 to 4 minutes. So again, what I tend to do is, this now is solid to the touch, but I always flip my mould over, especially when it is a darker colour like the brown glitter, and cure it through the reverse to make sure it's solid before it comes out of the mould. You can see your design through the mould on the reverse, and now that I'm happy that that's solid, I'm just going to gently release it from the mould, and with these little spikes you need to pull them out. So what I'm going to do now is pick out those details using just some black acrylic paint, and as I've said in previous videos, you want to just make sure it's fully cured before you put the black paint on, otherwise it will adhere to the surface and ruin it. So just some liquid acrylic paint, and I'm going to dip my finger in it and rub it into the spikes. You don't need to do this, the spikes are still, they're still visible, without it, but just makes them pop. You could also rub in maybe a gold paint to highlight the details. It doesn't have to be black, whatever you think works for your design. I'm not going to do the line around the face, but I will show you a technique for picking out that eye and the nose. So before I do the eye and nose, I'm just going to wipe off the excess on the back here. So just using a wet wipe, or you can use nail varnish remover as well if it won't come off. And then you can see it stays in those little spike details. We could have filled the eye in with maybe some black pigment when it was in the mould and cured that beforehand, but another way to do it is to get a pin and just scratch the area that you're going to want black, so within the eye. Just use the pin to roughen up that surface, and then the black paint will stick to it better rather than a lovely smooth surface. Same with the nose. And this is what I was referring to in a previous video, where you can easily use a Posca paint pen to pick out these bits. So now I'm just going to use the stick we used before. These are so handy. I'm just going to fill in details a bit more precisely. And then this way you don't have to rub off all the paint. If you wanted to, once this design is painted, you could then put a clear layer and dome it over the top to give it a more 3D finish. But to be honest, I think he looks cute. And there you have it, an adorable little hedgehog. I would usually attach a pin back to this, but you could easily turn it into a necklace or pop it on a card. Thank you for watching, and please comment below if there's anything you'd like to see me do next.